right. Oh, yep, and there's the link right there.
Yep, perfect. Yep, you're tagged. Yeah, and you can go ahead and I'll just talk while you kind of share that, and you can share it on Twitter and stuff. Hi, guys. Isn't it crazy? We're almost back to school already. This is my friend Kory Graham. I met Kory at a wedding for Logan Spitzak and Tracy Spitzak. Shout out to my good friends, Logan. Was a great time. Kory and I met. We just kind of ran into each other and just started having a conversation kind of about what she does and about the news business nowadays. And what I found out is that Kory is very active on social media. She does a good job of branding, promoting herself, but also promoting her product, and that is working in schools and working in the media and getting kids involved into the next wave, in which is online, internet, even robots. We got robots here too, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we're gonna help Kory here. Yeah, here, I can do it for you, actually. Why don't you go ahead, Kory, and you can just introduce yourself, kind of tell people, where are you from? Are you from this area? And then tell us kind of what you do.
Okay.
You can hold on to it. Perfect.
And my Twitter's there.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm Kory Graham, and I currently teach a class called Innovations at Byron Elementary School, or Byron Primary School and Byron Intermediate School. So I teach all the kids 1st through 5th grade. And we do a wide variety of things in the class. We do coding, we do the engineer design process, lots of things. We use green screens, and we do things called mystery Skypes with other classrooms. I've been teaching for, almost 25 years now.
Isn't that awesome?
I grew up in New Jersey. My parents still live there. I go back home every other summer and become a Jersey girl again. I went to Luther College down in Decorah, Iowa, which I love, and I have taught all over the place. I've taught up in the cities. I've taught in Decorah, Iowa. Before teaching here at Byron, I was a kindergarten teacher for 7 years at Triton Elementary, where I met Karsen's good friend Logan's mom, Michelle Spitzak. I'm going to give her a shout out.
Yeah, she is a sweetheart. Brad is awesome too. That whole family, just a great family.
Yes, they really are. And so I love being a teacher. I also do love social media. And so, as Karsen said, I'm very active on Facebook and Twitter as an educator, getting to know people.
I'm just trying to figure out this link right now. We're trying to share it to her Twitter because Kory is a Twitter master, I like to call it. Kory is very active on Twitter, and she knows how to do it, and she does it right. And we're going to get into that nitty-gritty stuff here soon, Kory, but kind of describe to me why. I mean, why are you active on the internet, and why do you feel that it's important to use that tool to get your message out to students as well as maybe their parents?
All right. I first started on Facebook a long time ago, like many of us, and I'm a very social person. I enjoy, talking to people, meeting people. Facebook was another way to be social. It also helped me reconnect with people from back home in New Jersey and my friends from college that have moved all over the place. And it was a good way for me to keep in touch with my parents back home and share. I have 2 daughters that are now 14 and 16, and it was an easy way to keep our grandparents up to date on what's going on with the girls. Twitter, I started about 4 years ago because some other teachers had encouraged me to join there and said that Twitter was a really great place for educators to participate in with other teachers from all around the country and the world. And I was hesitant because I felt I had my fill of social media on Facebook, but I thought I would give it a try. And from the very beginning, it was amazing. I was able to meet other teachers, principals, administrators that felt the same way that I did, that believed in the same kinds of teaching philosophies and things like that. And then once I got started in Twitter, the really neat thing that happened was I connected with a couple of teachers, Tammy Neal and Eric Turner, and we came up with this idea of having teachers and students reading to my kindergarten class. At the time, I was teaching kindergarten, and so Eric Turner was a alternative ed social studies teacher in Tennessee. So he taught at a school where the kids had been, for whatever reason, kicked out of their home school and they had to go to this alternative ed school. They were not allowed to leave the campus. They were not allowed to have visitors at their school. Once a week, his students would read a book to my kindergarten students. And it was amazing. And we're still doing it now. So we're on our 4th year of doing it. It opened my eyes up to what alternative ed students really are like. You know, they were awesome. And sometimes they were more nervous than the kindergartners for reading these books and things like that. So while that was going on, I was also having other teachers from around the country read to our students. And by the end of the year, we had over 40 people from 30 states and 5 countries read to my kindergartners. And we came up with a hashtag called Kory Tellers, which is now my Twitter handle. But it was so neat because we would keep track on a map of the different places where people were from that read to us. And my kids could go, and keep in mind, Triton, where I was teaching kindergarten, is in Dodge Center, which is a town of 2,700 people. Dodge County has one stoplight in the whole county. You know, so it's not necessarily, we don't all travel all around the country or the world, but my kindergartners could go up to the map and find the United Arab Emirates because a teacher, Jordan Landfair, was teaching over there, and he read to us, and they could find it on the map, and they could say, that's where Mr. Landfair lives. It was nighttime when he was reading to us when it was daytime here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it was just really neat. So from there, the hashtag kind of took off, and then it's just been so fun to be able to share. You know, I share a lot of what we're doing here in class, and other schools or parents are able to see what's going on in our buildings. So,
So I'm not going to hit tweet because this is your Twitter, but I kind of drafted a tweet for you, and you can tweak it. Go ahead and add the link in there. So yeah, it's like we mentioned in the beginning. It's so crazy that we're already getting back to school, and I'm sure you're excited as well as your other fellow educators to get back into the swing of things. What's kind of new? I mean, we're gonna get handsy here in a minute and look at some of the stuff that they use. As you can see, a green screen. We use that in TV broadcast. We use it primarily for our weather segments. Our weather meteorologist uses it because we can put graphics on there and such. And we're going to get into that soon. But kind of describe to me, and maybe parents watching here in the district, what do you have new for students that you're kind of working on and that you want to get them involved in this year and get their hands dirty?
Sure. So this will be my 3rd year in this innovations position, and there have been 5 years total of the innovations class. And it's kind of been evolving as we've been working on it. At first, it was more your typical tech class, computer class, where you were doing keyboarding or learning how to use a computer. Now it's been evolving more. Last year, I spent a lot of time teaching the kids how to code, all grades, 1st through 5th grade. And then this year, I'm going to throw in teaching more about the engineer design process. So, you know, what are the steps if you have a problem and you need to come up with a solution or design something? What are the steps that you go through to do that? So
Let me just take a time out quick.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about high school students here. We're talking about, what, 3rd?
1st and 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders.
So these kids are young, and we can maybe go to the theory of, okay, you teach a kid a language young. Just like this is the same thing, right? And you talk about coding, and we had this conversation before we went live. I learned how to code. Coding, again, is, you know, building a website or something online. I learned how to do this in college, but, I mean, I don't remember. Like, I have no idea what the tags look like and that kind of thing. But if you teach a kid young, and you can speak more to this, if you teach a kid young, they're going to possibly remember that later down the road because their mind is so, and I don't know the word right now, but.
Yep. Yes, and the thing I love about coding is it's problem solving. And whether or not they do end up remembering it down the road, but I'd like to believe that they will. Yeah. They're still learning problem-solving skills that are going to help them no matter what kind of career or college or whatever it might be, learning how you have a problem, you have to figure out what kind of steps you need to put it in the order of the steps. If it doesn't work, how do you figure out what's not working and going back to it? And that's the part I love about coding with the kids, is that it's not like a typical math problem where maybe there's one correct answer. There could be lots of different ways to solve the problem, and they can keep trying until they get the problem, they figure out the problem. And that, I love that, that I never have to tell them, no, that's not right. I can say, okay, it's not working. Let's try to figure out how to make it work. So it's like I say, I get to teach the fun stuff all day long, so.
Let me kind of be devil's advocate here. Let me be a kind of, I don't want to say crabby parent, but a parent that doesn't agree with what you guys are doing. And let me go back, take a step back here, and be that parent that says, I want you guys to instill the traditional values into my kid. I don't want him on the iPad. I don't want him coming home, Mom, Dad, why can't we buy an iPad, and why can't I be on this all night and play games and that kind of thing. Why should my student want to learn these things? And I know what you're going to say, but I want you to explain this, because this is so important. Because you have those parents that are traditional and that don't, want them to be outside, playing in the dirt, which I get, and that's important for development. But describe to me why they should be learning these skills at a very early age.
Well, first of all, like you said, it's all about balance. So by all means, I would never want a child on an iPad 24/7, just like I wouldn't want a child in front of a TV 24/7. I wouldn't want a child playing, outside 24/7. There's other things that they need, food, rest, those kinds of things. But it is about balance, and the thing that I always say is technology is our kids' world. Whether we like it or not, it's here. It's not going away. It's going to keep evolving, that they have to be prepared to use it, that we can't shelter them for them. In the educational world, there's a lot of talk about something called digital citizenship, where I actually like to just call it citizenship, because we want our kids to act the same way they do in person when they are online. And that, yes, there are negative things that can happen online, but as long as we prepare our kids the best that we can, hopefully they will know that they need to be the same person they are in real life as they are online. And again, it's not going away. People interview now using Skype or Google Hangouts, and I like to think of all the positives where technology comes in, like to know that my kids could play the piano while FaceTiming with their grandparents. That's something we never had growing up. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. There's a lot of positives to technology, and that if we can focus on those and prepare our kids, I think everybody is better for it.
Would you consider yourself, and I know you said your title, but kind of like a media specialist at the school here, at the intermediate school in Byron? When you do you have these conversations with kids about, all right, kids, you're solely teaching them, the iPads, the cameras, the robots, the green screens, but do you still kind of, in your teaching method, do you still instill those traditional values as to, we're going to learn this stuff, guys, but you also need to be active in other areas. And I think they learn that in maybe other environments inside the school. But do you instill that at all, or do you just solely, because that's your specialty?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, for me, relationships are the priority. Getting to know my students, letting them getting to know me is the number one priority, because if I don't have that, they are not going to care about anything that I'm trying to teach them. So, we talk about, like, we have a classroom Twitter account also that I use for all the grades, and the kids know about it. And if I'm taking a picture or a video and somebody is making rabbit ears or sticking out their tongue, I say, no, we're not going to do that, because I tell them, I say, I have 10,000 followers on Twitter. They're not all real, but, I say, people are going to see this. And when they see this, I want them to look at those pictures or those videos and say, wow, those kids from Byron know what they're doing and they're respectful. I want them to, I say, we want to represent Byron and the Byron School District as best as we can. And so they're getting it, little by little. There's still some kids that want to make faces and things like that. But overall, they ask me, they're like, after I take a video, are you going to tweet that out? Are you going to share that? Yeah. And so that's powerful for them to know that they have. That's another piece about social media, and that that they have a real authentic audience seeing what we're doing here in school. And that means, it's great that their parents can see it or other teachers, but to know that there are other people across the country seeing what we're doing and excited about what we're learning about, that's really powerful.
And I think if you shy away, like if you're a district that shies away from teaching kids about Twitter and Facebook, and if you shy away, the kid is not going to learn about Facebook. They're going to learn on it on their own. And if we do that, or if districts let that happen, they might take those steps to say the wrong things online, and it goes the wrong way, and they make a bad name for themselves when they didn't mean to. And when you can teach that again at the young age, and get them online and learning. That's so important.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just like if we're sitting around the dinner table teaching kids how to eat properly when they're with other people. To me, there's no difference now because this is the world the way it is now. So we have to have good digital media skills for all of us. So.
Talk to me. You said 10,000 followers, and that's crazy. How did you get that following? And I know you do a lot of conferences, right, and things, right? You mentioned that too. So you're out there, you're involved. But how did you get to 10,000? And you might have already mentioned it, but just say it again for me. How did you get there?
I don't really know.
What did you do though?
I was on Twitter a lot. That's about it. I was. I don't know. I think.
Did you find your target audience maybe, or did you have a niche, or did
you? Honestly, I didn't have a goal of getting that many followers. I still don't have a goal of getting. And again, if you're not on Twitter, you have to. Probably half of those aren't real. There are things called bots. Yeah, lots of them aren't local. That's for sure. They're from all over. But I just tweet a lot. I ask a lot of questions in regards to education. Like I said, there are lots of teachers on Twitter. So, there are lots of teachers that have 10,000, 15,000, 200,000 followers on Twitter. That it's very big as a teacher. For me, I just think I tweet a lot. I ask questions. I try to help people. So if somebody... I engage a lot. Yes, I definitely interact a lot with others. That's important to me. I try to connect people together a lot. If they,
woman.
I'm a professional hype. For example, there's a teacher. Her name's Lauren. She's just graduated from college, and she's looking for a teaching job. And she's created her online portfolio. She's from Minnesota. She had tweeted out, if you have a chance, can you look at my portfolio and give me some suggestions? So last night, knowing that I do have a lot of followers, I retweeted it and said, can anybody help her, give her some ideas? Well, 2 or 3 people gave her, and they might have got it. That's what I love about it, and just helping others and trying to connect others as much as I can. But I don't know how I got that many followers.
Well, it's really cool. It's really cool to know that we have local educators in Southeast Minnesota that are active and that are doing good things with it in a positive light. Again, helping people, being that middle person, as well as reaching out to parents, because parents, that's so huge. And we talked about this. I don't know if we talked about it on live, but we talked about it before the live broadcast here. That you're doing on Twitter, you're doing a Periscope, and if I'm a parent at work working my desk job, and all of a sudden I see, Kory Teller, she's live on Periscope, and I know that my kid has you during that hour, I'm going to tune in.
Kids, knowing that I've tweeted out something of theirs, within the next day or two, their parent is following the classroom and favoriting it and things like that. So it's definitely, that's so neat when that kind of thing happens. So
I'm getting kind of antsy here. If you can't tell, I keep moving around in these kind of fun chairs. They kind of swivel around. Let's get hands on here, and I'm gonna go over there and grab the tripod here. Okay. You have a few different things, and we're gonna go over here behind us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably just be able to do the one since the other one was dead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you've got robots, and we're gonna learn more to that. Let me just kind of grab all these cords here, guys. She's going over there. Look at this. They have a green screen. It's so cool here. Again, we're at Byron. Okay. Yeah. Table it, or is that okay? Okay. Perfect. And perfect. I'm just going to bring this back, guys, just a little bit. Okay, they use this in classrooms. It's so cool here. And as you're kind of moving it around, I'm going to put the mic on, and you can describe to me what you're doing, Kory. It's pretty interesting here.
So this is called Dash, and it's made by a company called Wonder Workshops. And it is a robot that we use a lot to help learn how to code and program. The kids can just free drive it, which is one of their favorite things to do. But I try to, make sure that we're coding as much as possible. And the kids usually use their iPads that we have at school, but I'm just using my phone. But there's an app called Blockly.
And I'm gonna, yeah. No, I can come to you here. Yep.
And this is a very simple version of coding, but it's called Block Language. And so what I can do is
This is so cool.
Tap on the different blocks and, I better do this. So like right here, when I push start, it's going to drive forward. But when I push the top button, it is going to look to the left. And so what we do for the kids, there are different problems that they have to solve. Like they have to get Dash from point A to point B, right. And they have to figure out how to make that work. But so we'll see,
play there?
And hopefully,
come on, robot.
Come on, there we go.
Oh, don't fall off.
There, and then if I push the button, it'll look. And so there's all sorts of there's sounds that you can make. It can light up. Here, let's do some lighting up. So I'll move it back again. And then I'll push play, and then it lights up.
So why is this important in learning? Why did you guys get these robots?
This is the way to really get the kids excited about it. We could just do this same kind of block coding on the computer, which we do sometimes with something called code.org. But to be able to actually physically move something, they love it, And so there are different puzzles. I can show you that are within the app. And like, for example, the first puzzle is driving school. And I have to use, Dash needs your help. Teach Dash to drive safely around the Wonder Workshop neighborhood square, which is full of surprises. And so these...
it's problem solving.
It's absolutely problem solving, and it's just such a fantastic way for kids to, if they get stuck on something, they can keep working on it until they figure it out. And so that's pretty powerful in itself, and they can take those skills that they learn in my class and use it when they're learning math or science or even with reading in their regular classroom. So it's just a really fun way to get them to learn it. And then I'm going to grab...
Yeah.
Dot. I won't turn them on, but this is Dot, which is made by the same company as Dash. The only difference with Dot is he doesn't move, so I usually start with this one first because teach them the ropes. But what's neat about this one is in one of the puzzles you can program it so you're playing a hot potato game. Ooh. And so as you toss it around, eventually it'll make a sound and that person's out. And so I'm able to tell the kids, okay, think about that. Think about those electronic toys that you have at your house that you get for Christmas or whatever it might be. Someone had to program it to make those noises or sounds or whatever, that somebody, there's probably a thing like this that you could buy where you play hot potato and it makes a sound that maybe someday you can be a toy inventor where you're using your programming.
And it gets kids inspired.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So, and I do have to give a shout out to, there's a company called Trinity Insight, which is right across the street from our school here. And once a month, employees from that company come and volunteer and spend time with all of our 4th grade classes and have helped us with our coding activities. And that's been so awesome because I've learned a lot from them. At the beginning of the year, they always talk to the kids about what they do at their work and how they use coding and what kinds of things they've learned in coding. And I've learned from them and the kids learn from them. And what's so fun is that all the Trinity Insight volunteers are always like, this is stuff I learned when I was in college or after college. Yeah.
And again, guys, we're talking about kids that are in first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, young kids where their minds, their brains are sponges right now at that age. And look at we're learning how to use robots, and how cool is that? I mean, I wish I would have been able to learn that as a kid. You know what I mean? It's so cool, and I bet you kids just love it. I mean, they eat it up.
Yeah, they really do. And again, having been a regular classroom teacher, I love being in the regular classroom. But it is so fun to teach the stuff that kids are really excited about, and to be able to do all sorts of different things in our room, just exploring different things and exposing them to so many different neat ideas.
And, they're important. Textbooks are important, but this is, gives them a break, their mind a break to be creative, innovative, and really dig deep.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
So do you have anything else to show us? You don't need to necessarily, kind of just describe what do you guys do here?
Like you said, this is
Hold on one second, Kory. I'm all tangled here. All right, there we go.
This is one of the green screens that we have in our school. We actually have at least 3, I think. And it's just a great way for the kids, again, because we can change the background, just like you guys do. Sometimes what they might do is use it, maybe they've learned something in social studies where they're studying a certain time period. And so they will retell one of the events that they've learned about while having an authentic background. For my class last year, towards the end of the year, we got into using puppets where they could write out a script for the play that they created with the puppets, and then they were able to have a background to go along with that play. So it's a great way to be creative. There is a weekly news program that students...
Awesome, I love that.
Yes, that you can see on our school website, where the kids share, what's been going on in school, or they interview people and things like that. So the green screens are really fun to use. And this year it'll be even easier because we're going one-to-one with the 3rd through 5th graders. The iPads will stay here in school. They won't be able to bring them home. But that just, the kids being able to have access to an iPad easily will make using the green screen even that much easier.
And I know the learning doesn't stop here, right? When kids leave here, if they go to the middle school, right? Correct? I've been there and I've seen the green screen, and there's a lot of great stuff there too.
Yeah, definitely. So it's neat that we can get a good start here for them as they move on through middle school and high school. That the skills they'll be learning here most definitely will transfer over to the skills that they need to learn in the middle school and the high school too.
I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here, and it won't be difficult to comment on this, but when I come to this area and I hear about the school system all the time, if I'm on a story, not even about the school, somebody will bring up how great the district is here. If you would tell me why is that, and if you would grab the mic and just tell me why is that.
What I love about this school district is that they have a real vision for what they want the school district to be like, and they come up with good plans that they follow through with. They recheck as they're going through the plan. They might have a 5-year plan of this is where we're starting, this is where we want to be at the end of 5 years, and they throughout the 5 years, and again, this will be my 3rd year here, but I can already tell that they're constantly revisiting those plans and checking on themselves and saying, okay, is this working? If it is, great, how can we improve it? If it's not working, what do we need to change? And there are so many amazingly talented, dedicated teachers, administrators that are really passionate about making sure that their students are successful, that it's been really fun. And they trust their teachers, that I feel as though I've been given a lot of freedom in trying different things, and that's the robot over there.
I was like, who's making that noise?
Yeah, being able to try different things that maybe aren't necessarily traditional, it's just really fun to work here. So.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's step over here quick, and then I'll maybe ask you one more question, then we'll say goodbye together, like we had before. And we'll set you up here. Yeah, it's kind of moving on us here. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, we just have a few people watching right now, but people will obviously be able to go back and kind of check out this video with, again, on Twitter, Kory Tellers. That's a KoryTellers.
And check out the classroom
What's the
Twitter
classroom?
account.
Yeah.
That one's called Innovative Bears. So just INNO. I can't spell that. VATIVE Bears, BEARS. But you can also go just on the Byron School website and find my website and the Twitter feed. And I also do a lot of YouTube videos.
Oh, really?
And so I have a class YouTube account.
What's that?
That,
What's the channel?
I don't know that off the top of
We
my
can put it in
head,
the
but
comments.
it's
We'll
on
put
the
it in the
school.
comments,
Yep,
yeah.
it's on the school
I'd be interested
website.
in seeing that.
And so it's basically a lot of the videos that I also post on Twitter because some of them are longer, so I had to make them YouTube videos. So it's just a lot of the different things that have been going on in class. But it's a fun way to be able to really see, because I video in all the different classes, so you can really get a good idea of what's been going on in my classroom.
Hey, now that we have this relationship, if there's ever an opportunity for me to come in and meet the kids,
Oh my God,
that would be
yes,
huge.
absolutely.
And if there's ever an opportunity where like they're filming their weekly deal, like I would love to maybe be a special guest or like watch them do it.
Yes, we love having guests here and visitors like that. So we will get something on the calendar for sure.
What do we have, 4 weeks?
No,
Less time or
actually,
3 or-
Byron starting before Labor Day. So the kids start August 28th. I start August 21st, which is not too far away.
Isn't that crazy? Did you have a good
It
summer at
is.
least?
I had a very good summer. It just always goes too fast. But it was a good summer. So
Well, thank you so much again, Kory Tellers. That's at KoryTellers on Twitter, and she tweets a lot of fun stuff. Also, your Byron Bears Twitter account too, as well, for parents if you're interested to see your kids and see what they're doing in the classroom. That's a Twitter that you definitely want to follow, as well as your Twitter as well. And we'll get that YouTube link channel in the comment section of this live broadcast. But thank you so much for showing me all your fun stuff. Again, school is starting soon, which is crazy. I really enjoy this, and I thank you for your relationship. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thanks
you.
a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm going to shut this off. Bye.